I left my sister's wedding early after her maid of honor humiliated me in her speech. So my sister Jenna finally got married last weekend after being engaged for like 2 years. I was honestly excited to be her bridesmaid because we'd gotten closer recently after years of barely talking. The whole ceremony was beautiful. She looked amazing in this vintage dress she found at some boutique, and her husband Kyle seemed genuinely happy. Everything was going perfectly until the reception. The maid of honor is Jenna's college roommate Rachel, and I've never really clicked with her. She's one of those people who thinks being brutally honest is a personality trait. During dinner, she gets up to give her speech with this huge smile on her face. She starts off normal, talking about how she met Jenna in their dorm freshman year and all their adventures together. Then she goes, "And I have to mention Jenna's little sister Emma, who's sitting right there looking so pretty tonight." Everyone turns to look at me, and I'm thinking this is actually sweet. But then Rachel continues, "You know, Emma's had such a rough few years. We all thought she'd never get her life together after that whole mental health breakdown and dropping out of college. But look at her now. She managed to show up on time, didn't trip walking down the aisle, and hasn't had a panic attack yet. It's like watching a baby deer learn to walk, but she's getting there." The entire room starts laughing. My aunt covers her mouth trying not to giggle. My cousin Jake is literally snorting. Even some of Kyle's family who barely know me are chuckling. I felt my face get hot and my stomach drop to the floor. Rachel just keeps going. "Jenna always believed in her sister even when the rest of us weren't so sure. It's so heartwarming to see Emma finally doing something right for once." I tried to keep smiling, but my hands started shaking. See, what Rachel was talking about was true. I did have a breakdown 2 years ago. I was failing my classes, couldn't get out of bed some days, and eventually had to drop out of college. My parents spent thousands on therapy, and I moved back home for 8 months. It was the darkest time of my life, and I'm still taking medication for anxiety and depression. I've been working so hard to get back on track. I'm taking classes part-time now and working at a coffee shop downtown. I even started dating this guy Matt, who actually makes me feel good about myself. But hearing Rachel reduce all my struggles to some punchline in front of everyone I care about was devastating. The worst part was watching my extended family's faces. My grandma looked confused, like she didn't know about my problems. My uncle, who I look up to, was staring down at his plate. Even Kyle's parents seemed uncomfortable, but they were still smiling politely. I could feel tears starting, so I excused myself and went outside to the hotel parking lot. I sat on the curb behind some cars and just sobbed. All those months of therapy telling me I'm not defined by my worst moments. And here's Rachel basically announcing to everyone that I'm the family screw-up who finally managed not to mess something up. Jenna came looking for me about 10 minutes later. She was still in her wedding dress, holding up the hem so it wouldn't drag on the asphalt. She sat down next to me and asked what was wrong. When I told her how humiliated I felt, she seemed genuinely surprised. "Emma, it was just a joke. Rachel didn't mean anything bad by it. She was trying to be funny and show how proud she is of your progress." I tried to explain that it didn't feel like pride. It felt like she was making fun of the worst time in my life in front of everyone. But Jenna kept saying Rachel meant well, and I was being too sensitive. I wanted to go back inside and pretend everything was fine, but every time I thought about facing those people again, I felt sick. The idea of my great aunt asking me about college, or Kyle's brother making some comment about my breakdown, was too much. I told Jenna I couldn't do it. She got frustrated and said I was being dramatic, that it was her wedding day, and I needed to suck it up. But I literally couldn't. I called an Uber and left while the reception was still going. I felt horrible abandoning my sister on her wedding day, but I also felt like I had to protect myself. My parents understood when I explained what happened, but Jenna has been cold to me since then.